Few big things jumped out to me here today on the second day of these joint practices, and it's easy to start with a big first-round pick from a year ago, Isaiah Wynn. We talk about him a lot during this training camp, but I think today was especially important because he got a lot of extra work, was exclusively with that first group, and part of that I think was because Dan Skipper a day ago went down. He comes back today healthy, but it looked like they felt more comfortable putting Wynn in that first-round spot. He sits there at left tackle, and all the attributes that I loved a year ago when this guy came in really shown today. He's got incredibly quick feet. Different defensive ends across him and outside linebackers throughout the day. He's always shown this ability to cut everyone off. He's so quick to square a guy up and get in front of him. The second part to that, and the part you got to have, it's one thing to be quick and cut people off. It's another thing to be able to sink, anchor, and power against power rush guys. And since he's only 6'2", 6'3", whatever it is, he's not the biggest tackle in the world, especially when you compare him to Trent Brown a year ago. You got to be able to anchor, and Wynn did. Good Lord, I know it's early. I think he's going to be a monster. Second point I'd go to is really staying on that offensive side of the ball, and I think we've transitioned here from Jakobi Meyers, the wide receiver, number 16, being a nice little story out of NC State. Maybe an undrafted free agent that'll make the team. I think we're past that. I think this guy now is not just a cool story, but a guy that's really going to help this offense. He looks like a pro. If you came out here and told me that he was a 6-year player, been with Brady his whole career, I wouldn't know the difference. He looks like a guy that's ready to produce in this offense. And finally, a similar story to that on the other side of the ball. A guy named Shilique Calhoun. We've mentioned him in previous weeks, but Shilique Calhoun was a little bit of a reclamation project, was drafted in the third round by the Raiders as an outside linebacker defensive end type from Michigan State. Didn't make a lot of hay out there, was available. The Patriots pick him up. Again, he started this camp as a bit of a curiosity, a guy that was making some waves, started to get thrown in there with the first group from time to time. He was in there with Derek Rivers some, and he even played some of that first group in the first preseason game. Again, much like Meyers, I think we're past the point of cool story. You watch Shilique Calhoun down in, down out. He is a handful. He wins a lot of the time in these one-on-ones with offensive tackles for both the Titans and the Lions. Looks like a front-line player. Not just a good story, a good addition for the Patriots.